Hello everybody, welcome back to the Plexi channel. In this video we're going to be ranking the top 10 battle themes found in the Spark the Electric Jester series. This video is not going to contain any specific Spark game, as there are too little tracks in each game to actually fill out a 10 slot list. So instead, I'm going to choose the best of the best from each and every Spark game, including the third one, and ranking them based off of my own opinions. Be sure to tell me your own thoughts and criticisms in the comment section below, as I am happy to hear anyone who thinks I ranked a song too high or too low on the list. And without further ado, let's get started. For the first one up on this list, we have Mini Boss Theme number 1. This theme just jumps out at you with its bombastic opening and its nice synthesizers. I will admit that it is pretty obscure that this is the first theme of the game, as it's pretty different from all the other musical tracks so far that you hear. But don't let this song fool you, as it is a perfect addition to the Spark the Electric Jester soundtrack. I like how the song goes into the nice guitar riffs in tandem with that 8-bit synthesizer in order to create that unique feel that the Spark series is always known for, and I love just how it builds up to the final part. Though it is a short song overall, it is a nice and satisfying way to transition you into the first battle themes you'll hear. Plus, it's not too heavy on the ears, especially considering that it comes right after FM Canyon, where that song was really intense and fast paced. Now I will say, the number 10 spot on this list and number 1 were the hardest to pick because they are both perfect additions to the soundtrack that I feel both deserve equal attention. Which is why for the first time on these types of videos, I will put 2 spots as the number 10 spot, as I just feel it more fitting, and I would hate to exclude such an amazing track from the list. If you're wondering why I like the Mini Boss theme 2 so much, it's because it's just such a solemn and quiet beat for a boss theme. I just love how it starts off so calm and menacing, like the opponent you're facing against, Romalo, is secretly a terrifying villain to fight against. It just speaks measures for his corrupt form that he has absolutely no issue with taking out Spark right here and right now. And then it transitions from this solemn melody and beat filling to these ominous instruments in the background as you hear real life voices humming in the background that almost feels as if Spark himself is not supposed to be here. And then all of this culminates into one final melody where all the instruments and percussion come together, and it creates that boss-like feeling that we're all too familiar with in the Spark series, and one that we've been expecting thus far into the song. An amazing composition for both the spots in the number 10 list. Both, by the way, were composed by Michael Staple, a composer I feel doesn't get nearly enough attention as the other ones for this game. For number 9 on the list, we have Versus Fark. Composed by Falk A. Young, and the theme that happens to be the main title screen music for Spark the Electric Jester 2. Y'all know I just had to put this on the list, as it's simply iconic. The beginning measures of the melody, in tandem with the slow buildup of the instrumentation, just adds for a satisfying release of built-up tension, as you know these two rivals are about to fight. I just gotta say, this theme better make a reappearance in Spark the Electric Jester 3, or we're gonna have to riot. All jokes aside, I just have to say that this theme is incredible to me, as when I first heard it on my first playthrough of Spark 1, it simply blew me away with how epic it was. This was the part of the game where I knew I actually loved Spark the Electric Jester. This small little theme encapsulates all the hard work and passion the composers for this game and the main indie developer, Lake Pepper, has for making this IP. And it comes right at the perfect time too, right before the actual best song of the game, Metagraph Fortress, where you have to, take on the final boss. Back to the song itself, the guitar riffs make an appearance once again, as you know those iconic instrumentations in the Spark series do. As do the 8-bit synthesizers that are used in this piece towards the end of the melody, as they add to the tension and overall excitedness of the theme when you're fighting Fark the Electric Jester. I'm sorry, can I just take a moment to point out how funny it is that Fark, that stupid name, is now turned into an epic boss battle in a game? Only people like this can actually make something so silly become something serious and epic. And I feel like that is overall what the song tries to convey. It tries to convey that even though this story isn't really meant to be taken that seriously, it still has the capacity to become something greater than the sum of its parts. It has the potential to actually become a piece of art. Now this is one you probably weren't expecting on the list, but for number 8 we have the boss theme from Spark the Electric Jester 3. The only boss theme, I might add, besides the beta version, which I don't think is as good as this one. Created by a brand new composer from the series, a guy called Tud, someone who's just as underrated as the rest of the composers, I feel like this theme really just encapsulates the overall evolution feeling of Spark 3. This theme somehow feels more grander and important compared to the other Spark battle themes of previous games. Not saying those games have bad battle music by any means, just saying that this new composer has a brand new approach at writing music for the Spark series. And boy do I not mind his taste, as this battle theme is incredible. The song starts off with this almost siren-like feel, as if the game itself is signaling you that there's a forthcoming danger that Spark has to worry about. It has that industrial type beat that makes it feel more robotic in nature, something creepily eerie. And it uses this tone of the piece to nicely transition into the piano solo of the song and the bridge, which sounds simply incredible. That build up, man. The artists for these games are way too underrated with how they make such amazing compositions. Though I do have to criticize the song for its admittedly short runtime, and its looping bits can get a bit tedious at times. That being said, it's still an amazing addition to the Spark the Electric Jester OST, and I cannot wait to see what Spark 3 has in store in the music department, because oh man, going off of the recent gameplay trailers, it's gonna be a treat. Now for number 7 on this list, I'm not sure if this is an unfair pick or not, because it's not really a boss theme, it's more like a level theme, but I'm gonna put it here anyway because it's my list. Once again, we have Michael Staple as the composer for the song Tower Climb, which, as you can tell in the background, sounds pretty epic for a fighting theme. I love the little inspirations from other video game franchises such as Kirby, as you can obviously tell at the beginning of the song. And then it transitions to that classic Spark sounding music with its nice 8-bit synthesizers and that amazing percussion. I know the song is super repetitive in nature and also quite short, but I just can't help but put it on the list as it has a nice triumphant feeling to it, as you now finally become Super Spark and you run up the tower as you just mow down enemies that used to take you ages to kill. And in addition to that, this song adds a new type of instrument to the Spark composition that hasn't been seen before, and that is the trumpets, I think. Please don't quote me on that. But as you know, trumpet is kind of a biased instrument on this channel, as it's an instrument that I myself know how to play, so it's definitely enjoyable to listen to that be added to video game music. Maybe people get super salty about me putting this on the list at all, and even more mad that I put it above some other songs that they might have liked, but I don't really care. I think it's an amazing track. For number 6 on this list, we have Mini Boss Theme number 4, composed by the god composer Funk Fiction once again, who constantly keeps making bangers for this franchise and many more other ones. Now, it should be fairly no surprise that Mini Boss Theme number 4 made it this high on the list, as I and many other fans of the series thinks it's the best Mini Boss theme in the game of Spark 1, and that's for a couple of reasons. That piano, man. The solos that it does throughout the song are insanely well made and composed, and the instrumentation of the song makes it not even feel like a video game music. It feels like it can be played in a straight symphony. Also, another thing that the song does that I actually find really commendable is that the sound mixing on it is incredibly well done. Those little subtle crescendos and decrescendos as it makes its way through the melody and bridge of the song really do good stuff to your ears, man. Sorry if that sounded creepy, but I just can't help but describe it that way, as it's that incredible to listen to. Also, another positive about this theme is that it plays right after Mini Boss Theme number 3, and it comes as a complete surprise, as when you're fighting the boss in Karana Forest, and then this theme plays as a giant robot emerges from the ground, it really hits you like a truck and you're like, oh snap, it's time to get serious now. And that's what the song is made for. It's the serious boss theme. Okay, we're finally arriving to the top 10 songs on this list. As usual, these songs poise as the best of the best in the Spark series. And for number 5, we have the ultimate boss battle theme from Spark 1. Keep this in mind. I simply believe that this battle theme encapsulates all the positive emotions that you felt during the entire game of playing, and encapsulates it into one grand song. You can feel it just by the fact that they use a brand new guitar for the riffs of this song. And it's another amazing composition from the impressive Falk A. Young. I just gotta say that the guitars in this song really go hard, probably better than any other song in the entire OST for this game. And as usual, those 8-bit synthesizers show their head again, once again used to great effect in the composition of the song. Just like the Versus Spark theme, I feel like this song just encapsulates that feeling of final showdown and epicness that the game series tries to push on the player so hard, and it works. Oh boy, does it work so well, as the final boss for this game is simply incredible. You're fighting in space with Freedom as this banger of a track plays in the background, and you can't even focus on fighting because you're too busy jamming out to the amazing guitar riffs. If anyone out there is looking to try to make a final boss theme, all they have to do is just listen to the song and they'll get a pretty decent idea of how it should sound. One final note I would admit is that the percussion in this song is amazing just like the other ones, and this song theme is going to be very, very important in the future of this list. That's why it's number 5. Moving on. For number 4 on this list, we have the special boss theme from Spark 1, once again composed by Falk A. Young. Being the first song in the series that actually has lyrics, I gotta say that the reason for its high ranking on the list should be quite obvious. It's just so Crush 40. For any of you who are confused to what I just said, Crush 40 is the main band for Sonic the Hedgehog series that writes all of the lyrical tracks. Of course, Spark the Electric Jester being a quite faithful adaptation of the Sonic franchise, you know Lake Pepper had to include a lyrical track for a boss theme. It's just a rule. And man, they do not disappoint with this theme. I wish it had an actual name instead of just special boss theme, because it would have made it so much cooler to actually, say on the list. The main lyrics of the song focus around Fark's inner turmoil as he has to come to terms with why he was created as a robot, and what his purpose in life is. This song unironically has some pretty deep lyrics for an indie game. And once again, those guitar riffs show their not so ugly head as they propel the song from just being another generic video game boss theme to a battle theme that has both style and substance that is deeply tied to the narrative and story of the game. I know some might call it butt rock, but this song is simply a banger. And for the first time in this OST, this song actually has an ending to it instead of just fading out into nothingness. An amazing first lyrical track for the Spark series. You know what's better than one lyrical theme that has amazing tension and build-up? 2 lyrical themes. For number 3, we have the special boss theme from Spark the Electric Jester 2. Now, I forgot to actually mention this in the first battle theme, but for the first theme, the lyrics were done by Andy Tunstall, and the same drummer from Sunset Heights, Blaze Cullard, plays the drums inside that lyrical theme. My bad, forgot to mention that. The good news is, it's actually easy to cover the composers for this song as they're the exact same people, and also, this song happens to be the exact same quality as the first one, although they somehow made it better. This battle theme just has a level of hype and tension that is unrivaled in the Spark series in terms of battle themes, except for number 1 of course. I love how the guitar riffs slowly build up to the lyrics of this track unlike the first one, and you hear that brilliant sound mixing that fades in the voices perfectly. The lyrics of this song are much more edgier, which I kinda like since this is Fark's game, not Spark's anymore. Fark's character is much more violent than Spark's, as he has to come to terms with why he was created and the fact that he doesn't actually have a real name. This song plays during what I would call the main climax of his story, where he has to come to terms with the fact that Freon is his true father and creator. And right after that revelation, he has to fight Double, supposedly one of the strongest robots in the Spark series. And I have to say, it couldn't have been a better decision to place this song right at that fight. On my first playthrough of Spark 2, I got goosebumps. And that's just because of how amazing this track does to build the tension and make you feel more serious and determined. I thought the first lyrical track of the series blew it out of the park, but man, it has nothing compared to this. It almost makes me frightened how amazing the lyrical tracks will be in Spark the Electric Jester 3 if the quality is this good already. Simply incredible. For number 2, we have Float's battle theme from Spark 2, composed by James Ladino. I knew he had to show his face eventually on this list. Now, for the people who are fans of my Spark content on this channel, I have to say, y'all should have saw this coming. This battle theme sounds like an orchestra with how amazingly composed it is. By all means, it should have made the number 1 spot on this list, but alas, I had to save that for the truly masterful piece that is a battle theme in this series. But back onto Float. She is possibly one of the most interesting characters in the entire Spark series so far. She's an updated android, just like Fark, and it feels like their battle has more thematic tension than any other one in the game. The reason for this being the case is of course because Float is kind of a tragic character when you actually think about her backstory. She was abandoned as a robot and experimented on with many different parts, until being saved by Double and Flint. She probably didn't even want to become a villain to begin with, but she feels so indebted to them that she's forced to fight Fark, and this theme encapsulates that sadness, as well as the epicness of it all, as she's an incredibly powerful opponent. I love this battle theme to death, simply because it feels like an organic transition into the more mature elements of Spark the Electric Jester. I knew the music would have to take a first jump, but I did not expect it to be this well of a first jump. Shout out to Anthony the Boss Man, by the way, for making sure I put this high up on the list. And one last fun fact before I get to number 1 is that the game's files has the song labeled as Boss Landino, and the model for Float's super mode is titled Float Rage Form in the files. I just thought that was a fun little fact y'all should know, because I find that quite charming. Alrighty then, come on, everyone had to know that this theme would be number 1 on the list. For number 1, we have Ultimate Final Boss Theme from Spark the Electric Jester 2, composed by Andy Tunstall, who's also the lyricist for this song. Remember that thing I said a while ago in the video about the Ultimate Battle Theme from Spark 1? Well, the reason why I love this song so much is because it's actually the same exact melody, though tuned a bit and composed differently, I will admit. But the same fundamentals of the song are kept intact for this amazing anime sounding battle theme. I don't even feel like I need to talk about the amazing instrumentation of the song, as I'm pretty sure everyone already knows how good it is. What I want to talk about is just how masterful of a theme this is for the final boss of the game. This theme perfectly encapsulates Fark's story from beginning to end and what he truly stands for. Just listen to the lyrics closely and you'll know exactly what I mean. The power and your pain, my power and your pain. And that guitar solo at the bridge of the song does well to perfectly let you have a calming state as you focus on fighting Freon, the final boss, who is just a Dragon Ball character, let's be honest. You can really feel the tension and heat of the song as the tides of battle constantly shift in the favor of the two amazingly powerful opponents. This is just a perfectly crafted final boss theme for the game, and it's a shame that it didn't make it into the first build of Spark 2. The reason for this is because the original final boss theme is actually just the same one from the first game, which is quite disappointing. But boy, the composers for this game sure do know how to fix past mistakes, as this song is an excellent reward for the player getting to the end of the game, and is, of course, the #1 battle theme in Spark the Electric Jester. for now at least. We'll see what happens in Spark 3. Once again, thanks everybody who is here for watching. I love making Spark content as it's an amazing, underrated franchise, and I hope you stick around as I plan on making much more. With all that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time on the Plexi Tier channel. Peace. Ready to accept